Wagwan me people, quick thing before we kick off. The views where you hear upon the Father to Father podcast, them strictly for why, the hosts, guests, and contributors. Them now represent Catholic Notebook, Spirit Stream Studios, the Diocese, University, or any affiliated groups. You see me? And remember, this podcast is strictly for adult ears, so listen up with discretion.
Welcome to Father, where life and faith meet, a place for the soul, where wisdom speaks. Hope in the message, strength in the beat. Welcome to Father, where life and faith meet.
Hey, what's going on, man?
It was Greg.
Whew, I don't know, man. It's been one of those things where, like, the more I spend time online, the more I realize I need to start capping the amount of time I spend online, because it'll be fine. Like, my Instagram is like, oh, cool, here's Jesus stuff, here's cool science stuff, here is like anime, and then it just takes a left turn. And I'm like, when what was I searching up? The algorithm just said, hey, yo, this is what you're gonna like. And I'm like, no. And you, like, even if you train the algorithm, they still like, but come on, dog. Come on. It's rough in these streets, man.
It really is. It's hard for especially these young kids to try and like stay focused for that reason, because the algorithm does not. The algorithm is not made to give you what you want. The algorithm is meant to keep you there.
Facts. So it's like, it is what it is. But you know what? You know what the algorithm is really good at? Making sure that when you like something, you subscribe, or making sure that when you open to that second browser, scroll down, give 5 stars to something, it comes back up. And when you share it with other people, it comes back up. And you know what? It's new year, new you. Why don't you put money on our books and stop being like a lurker in the background? You download all these things.
What?
You still don't put money on the books. Why? Why not? So just go ahead. $3, $5, $2.99, $10.99. Be a subscriber. Just click on the thing. Just click. Boom.
But you know, our generation, it's hard to commit.
You don't even need to commit.
It is.
Just drop the money on the books and stop thinking about it. Put your credit card on it and just not think about it no more.
Some people will spend $3,000 on a necklace on somebody who goes to the Philippines. I mean, it's hard to commit.
That's not a commitment issue.
That's a white flag.
That's a flag. Yo, let's get started. We gotta go. No.
Greg, Dr. G, what's good? I know it sounds clear, I know it's misunderstood. The story's wild, yes, out there, no doubt, but just...
You ready for some Hear Me Outs? All right, so it's Hear Me Out. You already know what it is. 5 stars did nothing wrong. 1 star, we got Confession on Thursday. And if you people are doing a Confession on Thursdays, yo, church, hey, let us know. Capital.org/Father the Father. Capital.org/
F2F.
But hear me out. The 23andMe wasn't the problem. We already started.
So what was the problem? The DNA?
Probably. All right. Okay, first of all, before Father Greg starts judging me, please understand this whole situation started because I was bored on a Tuesday. my roommate
started asking questions he didn't know the answer to. Found out something he didn't want to know.
And my roommate had one of those 23andMe kits, and I thought it would be funny to spit in a tube and see if I was secretly Italian or something. That's it. Not deep, nothing too crazy. My parents never said I was adopted.
Oh my gosh.
Everything in my life felt like normal, suburban, stable. I mailed the test, forgot all about it, got the notification on my phone. Ding! It's ready. Downloaded the app. I'm sitting there in my dorm, and at first, it's the usual stuff. Ancestry percentages, some random third cousin in Nebraska, whatever. Then I see close family. Not distant. It literally says likely parent/child relationship.
Oh, wow.
I'm staring at the screen because the name matches is Karen Mitchell, which would be interesting if Karen Mitchell wasn't the woman who lives next door to my parents. Also the woman who is my best friend's mom. Her best friend's name is Olivia. Obviously, I think the test is wrong. I call my parents.
Oh, he went
sorry.
straight to the source.
I'm sorry. I call my parents. They start acting weird. And then after 10 minutes, they say, you need to sit down.
Oh.
I'm standing up in my dorm room, and they said, listen, we always wanted to tell you, but time just kind of got away from us.
We time. Sorry.
It turns out I was adopted. Apparently, when Karen and her husband were really young, they first had me. And like 2 years before Olivia. They weren't ready. Life was coming at them too fast. It was too messy. And my parents, who had been trying for a child, not able to, said, we'll take her. And they were literally next door neighbors. And they just kept in contact and built families and built a relationship together. So everyone had this quiet agreement. My parents would raise me and the families would stay friends. And we just grow up tight and close right next to each other. I'm trying to process all of this. Like, my brain is doing gymnastics trying to reframe childhood memories and it sucks. Because, and Father Greg, I know I should have said it earlier. I probably should have led with this. But it's okay. Just hear me out. The past few months, while I've been in college, Karen and I have been hooking up.
Karen is her mom?
Her mom, yeah. Her biological mom. She didn't know. Before anybody panics, I'm an adult. I'm 21. She's in her 40s. It started off very casual, wine after dinner. It turns into deep conversation. She looked at me. I looked at her, and it just happened.
That's not casual. None of that is casual.
I figured it was messy and harmless adult chaos. Olivia was away at college. Nobody was getting hurt. But honestly, it just felt surreal and it felt nice. Now I got this DNA test telling me that she's my biological mother.
It was a mistake to bring water. I should have been drinking.
She called me after seeing the match and we had this awkward conversation where both of us realized, like, yeah, this is the situation. So now I'm sitting here trying to process two completely different things. One, I was adopted and grew up next to my biological family. Mm-hmm. And two, the woman I've been seeing is my biological parent.
Correct.
And the thing is, the DNA itself isn't the main issue anymore. I can wrap my head around an adoption. What I can't do is let Karen go.
That's where the line gets drawn. Interesting.
Do we just stop and pretend like none of this ever happened?
Yeah. We definitely stop. And then we have a conversation about how the fact that her mom, her biological mom, knew that was her daughter and then hooked up with her anyway. That conversation needs to be had. That's a searing question.
She said she forgot. And this was a surprise to her too. What are we? Listen, we're in 4 seasons, and I've never been speechless midway through and not being able to finish. I don't know.
What in the Ed and Eddie is going on here, dog?
I don't know. She goes, do we just stop and pretend like it never happened? She says she forgot.
She forgot.
And it was a surprise to her too.
That's a lie.
It was so long ago.
That's a lie. She lives right next door. She sees her possibly every day. How do you forget? That's a lie. That's a flat out lie.
She also said, do we tell Olivia? But I feel like it would detonate a lot of families.
You know what that tactic is? Because I know that tactic. It's, I don't want to do it. I'm going to ask this question and then make you decide not to do it. Because I don't want to press and say, I don't want this to happen because it's going to detonate our families. But if I ask the question, do we tell her and detonate all our families? And then look at you. What do you think?
No, so hear me out. The 23andMe wasn't the problem. Do you need a recap? TLDR, she took a 23andMe on some giggles, found out Ancestry Plot twist, she's adopted. Called her parents, said, hey, yo, what's good with this adoption? They said, listen, you need to sit down. She's like, nah, I'm standing up. What's good with this adoption? Yeah, you know the couple next door? Yeah, that's your actual parents. They were messy when they first started. They couldn't get their stuff together. We took you. You're our kid. They also had a kid. You know, your best friend, Olivia, that's their kid. That's also your sister.
Which makes sense why you guys are so similar.
And why you clicked up very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Because biological, you know what? It is what it is. But they live next door. They had a whole bunch of time. Now she's re-rapping. She's like, listen, I can wrap my head around all this. But Father Greg, please, listen, I probably should have led with this. But we've been sleeping together. And I love how she even left me. She left me out of it. She's like, listen, Father Greg, listen, don't be too hard on me. But we've been sleeping together. And I thought it was just a chaotic mess. She said she was surprised too. She didn't even know.
I don't. Can I start with a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
How is it possible? In what way is it possible for a mother to give birth to a child and not just give it away to adoption, to a loving family, to give the child to the next door neighbor, to watch that child grow up, take its first steps, play in the yard, go on vacations, take photos, be around for the birthday parties, whether over the fence or in the house because, you know, hey, you know, it's the next door neighbor. Probably gave gifts and cards and stuff like that.
They were only 2 years apart.
Yeah.
2 years apart, which means like they were in the same like group for like the longest time.
And her sister probably came over and hung out and played all the time.
Yeah.
And the families were very close.
Yeah. And they just never said anything. Like, oh yeah, cool.
They just never said anything. And you forgot, you didn't know? Malarkey.
I will, if I'm being charitable,
Charity is not free stupidity.
that, you see, this is how you know Father Greg's like on the edge of like, like don't even test my charity. No, if I'm being real charitable right now, there is a thing psychologically where after a major decision is made, you start to craft a story and you believe the story that you craft, which eliminates those synapses that tell you like, oh yeah, this is the thing. Like there is a possibility she truly believes I didn't even remember this. This is a weird thing. Oh my gosh. How did this happen? There's a real possibility in her head. She truly, because if you think about it, you're growing up separate. There are there's enough of a separation on a daily basis where, yeah, after a while,
Yeah.
you start to believe your own delusion.
Correct. But I'm not discounting that. I think that that's worthy. I'm going to take a cue from the comedian Cat Williams in this moment.
Okay.
Cat Williams said, not in a stand-up, but in an interview, the liar knows what lie he told. It seems like a very benign subject, but it's actually very deep. In order to be able to lie well, you have to have an understanding of the truth.
Okay.
In order to have an understanding of the truth, you have to make a willful decision to distort reality. Whether you want to forget it or whether you don't want to face it. You have to understand what the truth is. And I have a hard time believing that an individual who gave birth, had a child come out of them, is hooking up with a stranger in their mind. That person came out of them, and that person's now a stranger as you share the same bed? I can't. It's not just a charity thing. It's I cannot wrap my head around what that would be like, because even if we're going to take the religiosity out of it, your body remembers what happened to it.
Oh yeah. For sure.
There are scars. There are stretch marks. Your body remembers.
Yeah. 100%. Like, here's the thing. I am not saying that for sure this is what happened, but I've seen it enough. Like, so for 15 years I was a counselor.
Right.
And so throughout my career as a counselor, before I started teaching and all that stuff, just as an active in the community counselor, personally, I've seen it enough. When you read the statistics for it, it happens more often than you think. Where people just simply say, anything that happens before X point, I'm just going to blot it out. Like, I'm just not going to recognize it at all as being real. They fictionalize aspects of their life.
Wow.
And so, like, I've seen it enough. Now, that's ad hoc, right? Because I've seen it doesn't mean it happens all the time. It could just be the population I'm working with. But when you really think about it, there's a reason why tropes happen a lot, right? What's the most common trope when you bunk your head? Amnesia. Why do you think that is?
Because it has been a thing.
Well, and part of it is wishful thinking from people.
Yeah.
If I can eliminate aspects of my life just by not thinking about it anymore, the concept of repressed memories, right?
Right.
That's a big thing. That's not real. Like, repressed memories don't exist. That's not a thing. But what happens is you can experience something and then you tell yourself it did not happen. That's not a repressed memory. You are actively telling yourself no. But there's times where it seeps through and you can't help it. Because the idea behind a repressed memory is I've repressed it so deep that it doesn't exist. That's not what's happening. You're telling yourself, no, that can't be true. That can't be true. And you're actively telling yourself every so often because life seeps through, yeah, that can't be true. So in this situation, I don't know about you, but I'm going to give her a 3. It's middle of the road. Mainly because you experienced a lot of life and you did a lot of things that are like, you need to go to confession. Like, it is what it is.
Of course.
But right now, you're on the cusp of making an even worse mistake. For you to sit there and be like, listen, the 23andMe, I can accept that. It's like, okay, cool. But I don't want to leave her. Like, excuse me? You don't got a choice.
Yeah, nah.
You don't got a choice. This isn't like a fantasy thing where you're like, oh, look, no. You have no choice.
Yes.
So that has to end. Now, do you have to end? You have to blow up your relationship for that to happen? No, you don't. You can handle it like adults quietly because you've been handling like adults quietly up until this point anyways. Like, for real.
I mean, that was before she knew. That was her mom.
Now all of a sudden morality's kicking in and you got to tell everybody why. Like, what? That's not how morality works.
Nope.
So that's what I'm saying. For me, she gets a 3. What you saying? Fuck, Greg's about to fillet you.
I'm sorry. Like, listen, dog. If she just comes out with it real quick and is rational about it and says, hey, we need to all take a step back and redefine our relationships and also figure out, I need to also take a step back and figure out what I want from the situation. Do I want to get to know this individual as a mother figure and not just as my next door neighbor? Do you want that?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go ahead and just cut it and say, you know what, we're not going to talk about it. You missed too much. I don't want to figure it out. Just give me an explanation for why you did what you did, and then we'll just move on and keep it copacetic because my life is comfortable the way that it is now.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's the majority of people who are just like, you know what, we just gonna keep it pushing.
But what we're not gonna do is ask the question, do I need to stop?
No.
That's
the answer is yes. 1,000 times yes. You don't get a choice at this point.
if you choose between one of the first 2 options, then I'll give you a 3. If you continue on and say, yo,
that's a 1.
That's a 1 all day.
But that's assuming she continues on. Like, at this point, she's at a crossroads. And listen to me clearly. Please listen to me. No. Whatever.
Absolutely
No.
No.
It's done. It's just done.
There's no amount of charity that will make that okay.
There's no amount of pretzels that would make that, like mental pretzels that would make that okay. Nothing.
No.
Just no. All right, let's get out of here. my brain hurts.
Yo, Father Greg, Dr. G, what's good? I know it sounds clear, I know it's misunderstood. The story's wild, yes, out there, no doubt. But just lean in close, just hear me out. Hear me, hear me.
I needed a map. All I got handed was traps, said boy go be great, but gave me no pass, so I bled from the faith I ain't know I still had. Good advice don't come cheap, real ones ran wisdom, don't tweet. Now I walk through the dark trying not to repeat the same fake love that they handed to me. They come to me now like I know the route. Big bro, what's the play, can you help me out? And I try not to laugh, but I see myself back when I was broke, begging somebody else. Ain't no manual for this, just pressure and heat. You get burnt by the ones that you thought brought peace. Told my little man, don't believe what you see. Even angels fall hard when they run in.
Ready for some follow advice?
I hope so.
So here's the thing. Remember when we did the whole thing where the dude said, "Hey, I checked this time that she was American."
The part 2 part?
The part 2 part?
Yeah.
He sent us a follow advice.
Interesting.
He sent us a follow advice. It's actually kind of interesting. So,
okay.
So here it is. He's like, follow up. Fellas, I took your advice. Now I'm more confused. This is the like subject line.
Oh no.
Hey, all right, fellas, it's your boy again.
It's your boy.
He's like, all right, fellas, it's your boy again.
The flag waver himself.
Am I gay?
Whoa, what?
That's what it says. I'm just reading off of what it says. Don't do this to me. You read it. What does that say?
It says, all right, fellas, it's your boy again. Am I gay or bi? Do I have a target written on my face that says easy? Wow.
See, I'm telling you, I'm just reading these things. All right, let's go. Let's just take a deep breath. All right, whew. All right, fellas, it's your boy again. Am I gay? Am I bi? Do I have a target written on my face that says easy? You said, stop assuming you're in the same life stage as people. Ask the question early. Fair enough. That seemed reasonable. So I decided to do a little social experiment. I started asking people in my circle, casually, not aggressively, one very simple question. Have you now or have you ever been associated with a religious order?
Oh my gosh. That's not the question that I thought we were gonna like, dog, dog. So when I got on this podcast and I said that, hey, maybe you need to do some more background checks on these people that you're dating, and I want to know where you're finding these individuals. What did you hear? Because I'm not. We're not saying ask the guy. We're talking about the people that you date. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go off the cuff. I'm just saying. Continue.
To be fair, I really did say, have you now or have you ever been in a religious order?
Yeah, so once you're dating them, he said that there's people in his life and in his circle. Let's like go up to your mom and be like, Mom, have you ever been part of a religious order? Like, nobody, who's that going to help?
I don't know.
Who's that helping?
I don't know. What does that have to do with him being gay? I don't know.
That's the scary part. That's the scary part.
Like, that's the problem. We're just getting thrown with curveballs. All right, hold on. It says, I asked them a very simple question. Have you now or have you ever been associated with a religious order, religious discernment, or some kind of vocational program like that? And if you were in the past or are currently in it, does that impact your decision-making about relationships?
That should be honestly, that should be a very simple question. And the fact that he's been duped twice, like this is a traumatic situation where he's asking with intensity. He said casual. This ain't casual because he's betting his life on this.
Dog, that is for sure like
a casual question.
It's an interrogating question. Have you now or have you ever been? Right? But to be fair, that's what I said. I'm like, yo, just ask the question straight up. I didn't think he was going to ask verbatim how I said it. I thought it would be maybe one or two people. Fellas, 85% of my female friends said yes.
What?
80, and he puts 80 period, 5 period, percent period. And one of them said, "You're my special buddy, where I can just have a release without worrying about sex."
Oh, oh my gosh!
And I said, "What the f?" She slept over. She's one of the ones that have slept over my house. We slept in the same bed before, and I thought, "Ooh, she likes me." Absolutely not. Turns out I'm just a gay best friend. One of them, Josephine, I literally made out with her, and she's like, "Oh, it doesn't count with you." And her whole argument was making out with Protestants while in discernment is a form of evangelization.
What the heck?
Making out with Protestants while in discernment is a form of evangelization. If you really think about it. And she emphasized that Protestants committing a sin with a Catholic isn't really a sin. It's just a hall pass. That's why Protestants exist. What? That is the most problematic thing you can tell anybody. That is like legit. Like, I know we're laughing about it, but that's problematic to tell
All
somebody.
of this is problematic from the very beginning. All of this is problematic. I didn't know how bad it was. Wow. Wow.
When I told her I was Catholic, she said, "See, conversion." So my form of evangelization with you specifically worked, but I don't want to marry you. We're still good for dinner. Are we still good for dinner?
No. No.
The wildest part, every single one of my male friends said yes to. 100%. Not even kidding. Guys I've been on road trips with. Guys who I had late night bar conversations with. People I've opened up to about life, relationships, the whole deal. Almost every single one of them hit me with the exact same phrase. "Oh, I thought you knew." One of my buddies, Jake, who I've known since college, told me he spent 2 years in a discernment house after graduation and is currently discerning to become a Dominican. Another guy, Lewis, said he meets with a spiritual director every month and technically, quote unquote, still open to the call. Translation, he's 2 years removed from becoming a priest. I asked him clarifying questions, and then he finally told me. Meanwhile, this man has been with me on 3 international trips and spends hours. Never once did he mention priesthood. And the women, same thing. Claire said, who I've known for like 5 years, went backpacking all through Colorado. Casually said, "Oh yeah, she gets her full habit this year." Rachel says she's spending summers living in community and is entering the Poor Clares. And every single one of them kept saying, "I thought you knew. I thought you knew." Now, here's where I'm stuck. Because none of them are weird about it. Everybody acts like this is completely normal. They date. They claim they do use. What is it? They date at least. They claim they date. At least they claim they do. Unless they're just talking about old boyfriends and girlfriends. So apparently, like, he says that they're talking about dating, but like he thinks it might just be old boyfriend and girlfriend. They work normal jobs, they travel, they laugh, they care about me. But apparently a huge percentage of my social circles is just living in this open-ended possibility of religious life floating in the background quietly. Now I'm wondering, am I the only one walking around assuming everyone's building towards some kind of future, marriage, kids, mortgages, and I'm sitting here going like, am I gay? I still don't understand this whole gay thing.
I don't understand that question.
Because
I continue.
Because clearly, my life is not what I wanted to be. Should I just give up and become a priest?
No, that's not giving up. Like, what?
So I'm asking you guys for advice again. How do I start filtering people who are clearly not in discernment or unrealistic, or is that unrealistic in circles where faith actually matters? Is it naive to build a relationship with someone who still holds the door open in the back of their mind? Or is it just part of dating people who takes their faith seriously? Now, the real reason why I think I keep bringing up the whole gay thing, this is him. The real reason why I keep bringing up the whole gay thing is with a lot of those guys' friends, we hug a lot.
Oh.
No.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say to this.
I
Okay,
don't know.
I don't.
Like, a lot of those guy friends, we hug a lot, and I mean seriously, we hug a lot.
I don't know how to respond to this. What is a lot? Like, what is?
I don't know.
Is that 4 or 5 times a hangout session?
That's
Is
all
that-
he says. He's like, any help will do. Thanks, guys. Do you need a recap? I feel like
I'm
we need a recap.
lost. I'm genuinely lost.
So basically, he started this whole thing off by saying, "This is probably the first time ever for a follow lead advice." I'm sitting here saying, like, I think we need a recap. So this guy, we already know what he is: white flag, everything like that. He had the second girl. Turns out she was the other thing. So he took what we said and in our advice to him, like, hey, maybe this is what you should do, and took it literally, went at it with his friends. Turns out a majority of all of his guy friends and like 85% of his girls that he associates with, they're in religious life in some way, shape, or form, or they're getting ready to complete religious life in some way, shape, or form. The other thing is, he mentioned casually that he's going on trips with all these people. He's spending time with all these people. He's spending money and energy on all these people. And he says they care about him, but he doesn't know. Now, he keeps throwing up this like gay and bi thing, but at the end, he's like, the only reason why I'm bringing up the gay thing is because with the guys, we hug quite a bit. Like, we hug a lot, which I can only think is like they're a little bit more touchy-feely, and that's about it. Like, you know, like, hey, because, you know, some guys are just like, hey, what's up with other men for whatever reason, but they're not, it's not a gay thing. They're just like touchy-feely. Yeah. And I think for him, he's just like, yo, if I'm striking out with girls, am I just gay and I don't know it? Is that the thing? Am I bi? Do I like both? Is that the thing? And I think that's where he's getting muddled a little bit, and that's why he brought it up. But ultimately for him, at the end of the day, he's like, my major problem is I don't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do.
Okay.
And he's like, is it unrealistic to expect people to be one-track minded in that sense? Or is this reality that I'm facing what happens when you're around people who take their faith seriously?
Okay. Wow. Well, there's a lot there. I guess I'll just start with this. The circle that you have, the people that you run with, if they're on a one-track mind of religious life and they're studying to make this their life, excuse me, that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. I mean, it's actually pretty admirable. If you have friends that are seminarians or people who are novitiates or people who are discerning their vocations, they need friends too. It's fine to have friendships. I find it kind of odd, and really, I'd never heard this before, that just it wasn't talked about or that you didn't know. I'm not blaming you or anything like that. I'm just saying I have spent years in seminary formation, made friends from all over the country and all over the globe. It's so much a part of me and ingrained in me that it comes up in conversation. I don't have to talk about seminary. Actually, I hardly ever do unless somebody asks. But I talk about the love that I have for my God, or how the beauty of creation, or how I can't wait to become a priest. Like, that's just something that becomes a part of who I am. It becomes a part of my lexicon. I just find it really odd and unfamiliar that this never came up. But besides the fact of that doesn't say much about you. The fact that you have this circle doesn't say much about you. It doesn't mean that you have to become a priest, and it doesn't mean that you're destined to become a priest because you have friends who are within religious life. Right. It does mean that this is something that you enjoy. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to go to religious life, but it does mean that you take your faith seriously and you want to be around people that take their faith seriously. That's going to help you date.
Right.
But also, I'm not going to end this without being very clear about something, particularly the women in your life who look at this situation and say, oh yeah, you're just kind of like, you know, someone who I can like get my release off of and, you know, maybe blow off a little bit of steam with. And that's never going to be okay. Like, that's using someone.
Yeah, because if it was the other way around, it would be condemned. 100%.
Absolutely.
100% would be condemned. It would be like, what are you doing?
It's just flat out not appropriate, whether it's a woman, whether it's a guy. That is something that you got to go ahead and weed out of your life efficiently and quickly, because those are people who will look for opportunities to do that with someone else later in the future, because they're teaching themselves to look for releases in people that was never meant to exist in the first place. I don't want to see you get used, and I don't want to see you get hurt, and I don't want to see anybody else get hurt. So here's what all of this means. We have to correct the ship.
Right.
In short, it's Lent, and it's the time of the multiple confessions that tend to happen. And I told a good multitude of people, I gave them the example of Christopher Columbus finding America. You know, Christopher Columbus never saw the New World. He didn't really know what it looked like. He didn't know how far it was. He had a map. He had a couple conversations with some people. He had a whole bunch of ideas, and then he embarked with a whole lot of food, a lot of supplies, a lot of people who had been charged to his care, and he was going to go across the ocean, a place where nobody's ever gone before, further than anyone's ever gone before, to find this new place. Mm-hmm. And I liken that to finding the kingdom of God, or maybe even finding our vocation, that our direction in life and where we're supposed to be going. We have an idea of what it could look like. We have a bit of a map. We have the catechism. We have scripture. We have everything that tells us what we're supposed to be doing, but we've never seen it with our own two eyes. We've experienced it in other people. We've experienced it in life. And so our ships go out into the ocean, to the great unknown. And then when the wind hits the sails and it's at your back and the weather is fantastic, you think to yourself, absolutely, Lord, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. You have guided my steps. The wind is at my back. The Holy Spirit is carrying me through. Everything makes sense. And that is the perfect vocation. And that's what everyone thinks about when they think about open sea, the journey. It's going to be perfect. And then the storm comes in. The waves come in.
Right.
The waves start getting super high. The visibility drops. All of a sudden, the water starts rushing into the boat. You don't know where you're going. You can't see. You've been turned around. You're just trying to survive. And you think to yourself, why would God bring me this far just to die in the middle of nowhere in a foreign land? I don't get what's happening. And you almost forget of what it was like just a short while ago when the wind was at your back and the weather was perfect.
Right.
All that is to say, the wind, the low visibility, the rain, the waves, all of those are outside factors. The chaos and all the noise comes from the outside, from every single direction. What does not change ever is north, south, east, and west. If you have your compass and you go in the direction you're supposed to, you will find out exactly where you're supposed to be. Now, this is historically speaking. Columbus also messed up, and he ended up in the Caribbean, and he thought it was India, was why it's called the West Indies. But he still kind of he missed the mark a little bit, but he still got to where he was supposed to.
Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, right? You got to do what you can.
The rest is history. So follow your direction, whatever it is that God has called you to do. Remember the times when there was great peace in your vocation. When in the directions you were going, you said, I know for a fact I'm following God. I have unity. I have peace. And it's not easy, but it's good. And then when it changes and things start shifting and people start acting different, they start acting real funny, all that chaos that happens, remember what brought you peace. And know for a fact that if God has called you in a certain direction, he will not leave you hanging. Remember the things that brought you peace and continue to find those things and go in that direction. That's going to help you go over the waves, go over the wind, go past the storm, all the outside factors, and reach exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, no, and for real, you are around vultures right now. That's it. Like, it has nothing to do with their vocation, it has nothing to do with whatever. They're making decisions, and they treat you like meat. And so at the end of the day, realistically, this is a wake-up call for you. The people that you spend your time around, they have their lives in place. They know what they're doing. They know where they're going. And so for you, situate yourself in the midst of that. Figure out for sure like what it is that you're wanting, and really ask yourself some critical questions, because a lot of this was like you're questioning your sexuality, you're questioning like all this stuff, and it's like, well, that's fine. That's good in the sense that you're actively thinking about these things and you're coming to grips with a lot of information you didn't know before. But here's a couple of things that will help steer you close. First of all, priesthood is not the last resort. If you don't have a vocation for the priesthood, you're not going to do well. Like, it's not a last resort. It is a choice, like all the other choices. You're called by God to move in a particular direction, and he asks you, do you want to enter into the line of Melchizedek of old? That is a choice. Marriage is a choice. You're called by God, and then he asks you, would you like to bind yourself to this person for the rest of your life? Till death do you part. Singlehood is also a choice. And religious life is a choice as well. These are four major categories that exist to you. And for you to try to force yourself into one or the other does you a disservice. But when you're looking at just the basic tenets of being a human being to somebody else, listen, you're being taken advantage of. You recognize now that you're being taken advantage of. Right. You're going to have a lot of hard decisions to make, and it's going to suck. But that's not a question of your sexuality. That's not a question of your character. It is a testament to the fact that you desired something and other people see that you desire something. And you know what? Shame on them for taking advantage of you. Because at the end of the day, they exploited what you desired and gave you a facsimile of what you wanted. And even in the midst of that, you realized it was hollow.
Yep.
You realized it was hollow. So now is your chance to take back your agency, take a deep breath, and go, okay, what is it that I'm actually looking for in people? What do I actually want in someone that I want to spend time with? Even a friend, not even someone I'm thinking about sexually. I'm just looking for someone to spend time with. Who do I want to spend time with? And then put yourself in that position. Change the environments that you find yourself in. Introduce yourself to other people. And from there, you will see what God really has in store for you.
Right.
So don't clip your wings and don't let their expectations be your ceiling. Allow this to be a learning experience. Take a deep breath. You're okay, man. It sucks right now because the whole reality that you thought you lived in got shattered before your very eyes because you asked one question, albeit a very legalistic question, but it was one question nonetheless. But that one question helped reset yourself. So we're praying for you and, let us know. Give us an update sometime. Okay. And also, please, next time you write in, can you balance out the writing?
Yeah, for that.
So don't throw us on a roller coaster like that.
Strong first line.
Yeah, man. But that's all we got, man. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right, hey, that's it.
You ever ask for advice and they laugh at you or worse? They give it with strings attached. I learned some people don't help to help, they help to hold you. So be careful who speaks over your soul, 'cause not every God told me came from God. Not every I got you means you're safe. Some just wanna wear your story like a chain. Good advice is a treasure map buried in pain. Real truth ain't loud, it don't chase fame. Now I write what I needed, tattooed in flame for the next lost soul walking out of that rain.
Okay, so the Catholic Women's Research Teams, they did their 1-2 thing. It was another Mad Lib type of thing. They went to the priest again, and they said, fill in the blank, Father. If I had $1 for every time blank, I'd be rich. And we're just going to go through them and see how far we get. Okay?
Okay.
So why don't you answer it, Father? If you had $1 for every time blank happened, you'd be rich.
I know for a fact that my parishioners listen to this, so I got to be careful. Let's see. If I had $1 for every time, if I had $1 for every time the microphones didn't work, or had some kind of Fritz thing where you got to try and figure it out, because it's not like, you can't just flip the switch and be like, it's gonna work the first time. It's got you got to flip it and then turn it the right way, and then there's 2 different connection points, so you got to make sure those work. And if one doesn't work, then it starts making a certain type of noise or sound, then you got to know to replace the cord or to flip it and do it like the 1980s or the 1990s when you put in the jack, you got to wrap it around. I guess. Yeah.
You'd be rich. All right, cool. Here's what some of the priests around the world, and mainly in the United States, but around the world, said. If I had blank, I'd be rich. If I had $1 for every time someone asked me if their dog can receive communion because he's, quote, basically family, I'd be rich.
That's terrible.
If I had $1 for every time someone says, Father, this isn't gossip, but, and then proceeds to gossip for 20 straight minutes, I'd be rich. Next one. If I had $1 for every time someone confesses something and then asks me if their spouse can also, quote, get the grace by proximity.
What?
I'd be rich. Yeah, you ever heard of that?
No, I've never heard of that.
It's just like someone goes in and be like, yo, Father, I did this. It was not okay. Also, I'm confessing on behalf of my husband who's not here.
No, that's not okay. I've also heard people come to confession and not tell their sins, but tell the sin of their spouse. And like, yeah, this is what they did. This is what they did. This is what they did. I was mad because they did all that stuff. Then I cussed them out. I was like, oh, okay. So what you mean is, what you mean is your sin is you cuss your spouse out because you got frustrated with him. I don't really need to know the rest of it because he should probably tell me because he should go to confession too.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so here's another one. If I had $1 for every time someone brings a casserole to the parish... If someone brings a casserole to the parish event that could legally be classified as drywall compound.
Oh my God.
I'd be rich.
That's bitter. Whoever it is bitter. But also,
hey, you can't look at me and say every casserole at the parish picnic.
Of course not. But you always take a corner piece real quick. You don't let them give you a piece because you can give you a piece.
Oh,
like,
it's game
Father,
over. It's game over.
Father, you gotta eat, and they'll give you 2 hefty scoops.
Yeah,
hefty, husky scoops.
It's game over. You got to get. You're right. The hack is always get the corner piece because that's always well done. Mm-hmm. And then like if there's any chance of seasoning that it looks suspect for seasoning, that corner piece will have char.
Yes.
So like you can you can finagle your way with some char.
It's something. And you got to clean the plate. You can't be seen with their casserole going into the trash can. It's against the rules. You lose.
No, I knew this priest. He passed away, but he was called Father Two Bites. Basically, he only took 2 bites of everybody's casserole. That's it.
Yeah, this is consistent.
2 bites. He's like, yo, I'll take 2 bites. That's it. No, nothing more, nothing less. If he you knew it was bad when he took half a bite and then he didn't eat the rest. He only broke the 2 for as long as I knew him. People that knew him all like said he broke the 2 bite for like 3 specific things, and it was like out of this world. There was someone who made a peach cobbler from scratch that grew the peaches themselves in the backyard and
Like, I don't know, like that's gonna make it taste better. Like,
I don't know. I don't
you
know.
can feel the love in the peach.
No, like you just pick it when it's riper, I guess. I don't know. He's like, yeah, peach cobbler himself. He's like, he ate 4 bites of that. He's like, I got to. I can't just take 2 bites. Another person, they said they felt a certain type of way because this one woman made like this souffle, she spent all this time, Father took 2 bites, and then he had 4 bites of chips.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild. You know, people catalog these things. All right, let's finish it out. If I had $1 for every time the lector confidently mispronounced a biblical name, like they were inventing a new language, I'd be rich.
I mean, it's hard to read some of these things. Amoebalek.
Amoeba. Dude, there's a reading where it's the first, second reading and the gospel where it's just, you know, every name that is like 19 characters and 15 syllables, and you're just like, and Shohodafek went down to Shingmelek and Lagmaduki, and you're like, what is the point of this?
It's a cultural thing. Like to them, it's easy things to say, but for us, it's like, yo, this is I was gonna say Gilgamesh. Gobbledygook.
No, but it's like me saying I can't say say it for me.
Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, Arnold Palmer. I can only say it one way, and that
you don't gotta say it that way. It's fine. It's okay.
No, it's fine. A few more. If I had $1 for every time someone asked if they could reserve the front pew for their entire extended family that hadn't been to church since Ronald Reagan was president, I'd be rich.
Christmas and Easter.
All right, a few more. If I had $1 for every time someone said, Father, the Holy Spirit told me to tell you, and then suggest something deeply inconvenient, I'd be rich.
Dang.
If I had $1 for every time parish council meetings starts with prayer and ends with near tribal warfare over a comma the color of carpet, or someone forgetting someone else's turn, I'd be rich.
No comment.
What you got to say about that?
No comment. I got nothing to say about it.
If I had $1 for every time someone asked if the statue of Saint Joseph can be moved because it's watching them too much and it's too intense.
Never mind. I got nothing to say about that.
You got nothing to say about that too?
I got nothing to say
Dang.
about that.
Oh, okay. Last one. If I had $1 for every time the youth group locks themselves out of the building while trying to start a prayer circle, I'd be rich.
Yeah. I can see that.
It was a good show, ain't it?
Always.
For all of us here at Captain Notebook and Spirit Stream Studios, we love you. You're very special.
Go forth and bear good fruit.
We out!